Runs out to Tom James. Good shot! Oh, a goal! What a goal for Tom James! Oh, that was special!
Well, we're having some difficulties with the cameras at the moment, but hello and welcome to Orient Live. It's a big night as the most popular football competition in English football returns. Yeah, it is the EFL Trophy. Let's very quickly, we're going to head to a short break to look at the latest ratings of the players on the EA Sports FC when our players found out how they're going to be rated on the new game coming out very soon.
Ollie, he's got the motorcycle face.
Almost over.
I dare one of them to come and scrap me, bro.
Shocking. I'll pace him. You're finished, mate.
You're done. Disrespectful. But I remember when I was 22. Oh.
Almost over.
Are you on physical? I'll take that. Yeah, that's miles of it. What's the passing? 43? Have they not seen my diags? FIFA, man. It's not even FIFA no more, is it? EA. Holy.
It's right, actually. Passing's a bit.
73 pace?
Yeah, I'm happy with that one. Yeah.
It's alright. I don't shoot. They haven't seen me shoot.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Wow.
I'll take it.
Wait, what's your overall?
53.
CDM.
I'll take it.
Mine's at least 70.
70? Yeah, I'll take it.
Next season, mate.
Yeah.
I'm still almost over. 62 pace though.
Shocking.
Never had a goal RV, yeah?
Nice. I like that, yeah?
RV.
Interesting, that.
Where's Beckles?
Round at the start. He wasn't as stiff as to hesitant.
Nice.
To pressure.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
79 physical, little man.
79?
Little man. You're a little man.
What, you're silver, yeah?
Wait till you see your defender.
Yeah, they've got the passing accuracy rate though. 47.
No, they're taking 53 pass. That's probably accurate still.
Pace is good though.
Yeah, I'll take the pace. That's what you need it for, isn't it? Physicals are vital. I dare one of them to come and scrap me, bro. Close the laptop now.
70, yeah? Oh, look what it is.
Who's the fastest on the team?
69.
Ruel.
82. Where are they getting these stats?
Ruel got 82 pace. Shooting 59. I think I've seen the goal against Roma. But...
63. Oh my god.
Lad, what do you mean? How are you quicker than me?
I am quicker than you.
5 yards.
Lad.
70 physical.
It's pathetic.
He's got
Dex, Theo, Iddy and George.
Aye, who's the quickest in the team?
Yeah.
No. That's actually a joke.
Aggie 79, Theo 79.
Theo. I beat him by about 30 yards.
Is Theo a striker?
In the sprints.
No, it's
Hunty 77 pay again.
And he's a left back.
It's a shambles.
What? Wait. He's stronger than me.
He's stronger than me as well. Have they seen TJ run? Oh my, he's got the motorcycle face.
45 physical. I've been done.
The only good thing about that is that picture.
No.
Because Intel's told me I'm the same. Oh, same mom's on! Oh!
62.
Bro, that's like a what?
Rare card as well, Strange.
Are you bantering? No, that's like a what? Like 5-point upgrade, isn't it?
That's good, man.
FIFA cards.
He's 67, I must be 107, I'll tell you that.
If he's 67, you'll be what?
Hey,
Be
come on, mate.
67, I must
Hey,
be.
come on.
Hey, you too.
Hey.
Disrespect.
Oh my!
I'm cricket. Wait, am I cricket?
Bruv,
He's double your
Man
pace.
33, bro.
I'm quicker than him.
No, you're not.
I'm quicker than him.
He's actually
Where's
physically
Jack?
double your pace.
Bro.
He's
And physically, I'm stronger though.
Sure,
To be fair,
what's
I'm
that?
actually stronger than you though. I'm not gonna lie.
dribble. Where's dribble?
No,
Yeah,
you're not,
I'll
bro.
give you dribble. I'll give
no,
you dribble.
No, no.
Defending.
No chance.
Come on.
To be fair, pass was similar, innit?
Physical. Take your top off. Show me your body.
Bro, by the way though, 33.66. I'll pace him. You're finished, mate. You're done.
Disrespectful. But I remember when I was 22. How was he 22?
And we getting that card though.
Unless you're getting in for, mate, no.
Oh, is it?
Yes, Ash, can you believe he's 60 what you?
Hey, 71 piece. That's an improvement, you know. Look at that smile as well. Wow. Yeah, shine is literally rare. So it's an improvement.
Well, apologies about that, but the good news is we fixed it and the camera won't be fixed on Brendan's face all night, which is always a good thing. And welcome to Orient Live for real this time. We've just seen them reacting to their FIFA ratings. Some happy faces in there, practically maybe not so happy, but I think fairly good on the whole.
Yeah, no, it's always. I love that sort of stuff. I love that video, the way that the guys have put that together. It looks like a happy camp as well. Really, you know, the clubs only kind of do that sort of stuff when things are going all right, and at the moment it's been okay for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, it's nice to see that. There's some ratings in there that I'm not entirely sure about myself, but I'll keep those thoughts to myself because I don't want this to go any further. But we can come on to that maybe a little bit later.
You're a self-proclaimed stat man, a man of the football manager, so it might be hard for you to comment on this. Ruel Sotirio, 82 pace, is it? Would you have him down as that in Football Manager?
Probably not. I'll have to check the DB. Don't quote me on that.
The DB.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when it comes out.
Is that the database in layman's terms?
November 6th, FM24.
Well, we've got some big competition here on the football video games, but let's get to the real game. It's the EFL Trophy, and of course, the O's are facing the Fulham's under-21s this evening. So let's take a look at how the O's are lining up for this evening's fixture. In goal for the O's. The last time out, he was very impressive away to Blackpool. It's number 13, Sam Howes. Returning from his concussion is number 3, Jayden Sweeney. Starting centrally in the defence is number 4, Ed Turns. And partnering him wearing the armband is number 5, Dan Happy. Starting in the midfield this evening is number 8, Jordan Brown. Starting again, as he did on Saturday, is number 11, Theo Archibald. Making his first start for the season after making the return from the lengthy injury. Leading the line is 16, Aaron Drinan. Also starting in midfield is number 22, Ethan Galbraith, alongside 23, Max Sanders. Zek Obiero also makes his first start, and Rob Hunt finishes that defence off as well. And on the bench for the O's is Reece Byrne, Joe Pigott, George Moncur, Idris El Mazouni, Omar Beckles, Jordan Graham and Charlie Pegram. So a lot of exciting names on that team sheet, Brendan. A lot of young players that we haven't seen much of, new signings we haven't seen much of. It's just quite an exciting lineup.
Yeah, I think it's 10 changes from Saturday. You've got Theo in there retaining his place, but a lot of competition for places that we perhaps haven't seen in recent seasons with Orient. That team is very strong. You've got players like Max Sanders and Ethan Galbraith who've got really good pedigree at higher levels and have looked good when they've had time on the field this season. So I think central midfield is probably our most hotly contested position in the squad at the minute, and those two, along with Jordan Brown, really, are all going to be looking to stake a place and try and earn a place for Saturday against Shrewsbury.
Well, we imagine that will be the midfield three of Jordan Brown, Ethan Galbraith and Zach Obiero. Is that, do you agree? And also, so that's a young 3 centre midfielders. You've also got Max Sanders who might
drop in there, yeah.
Drop in there. It's a hard one to call.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm pleased to see Jordan Brown there. Always, you know, we say that pretty much every week, but always does a job there. But Ethan Galbraith, I know he's been kind of down the right-hand side for large parts of this season. Obviously, brought in as a centre midfielder, technically looks excellent. And Max Sanders as well. The opportunities that he's had he's been quite impressive, really. So it's, these sort of games it kind of gives you a sense of what some of these players are about. Definitely gives them some minutes in their legs, which at this point in the season some players will probably need, will probably appreciate. And also we're coming up against what looks like on paper a quite a strong Fulham under-21 team. I know we'll come on to them, but it's nice to see the fact that you take El Mazouni and take Pratley out of the team, and then what you're left with is players that you're like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these players play tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing what Ethan Galbraith's like in the centre mid. I'm looking forward to seeing what Max Sanders has about him as well since joining the club. So yeah, it should be quite a good game this evening, I'm sure.
And not many minutes between those four, because any of them could play centrally. And tonight's a better night than ever, really, to give them that game time. And against a young Fulham side, a good Fulham side that, and you said we'll come on to, but there's no real pressure for them to have to play that kind of first team men's football per se.
Yeah, you expect it to be quite a technical game tonight, full of possession. I'm sure I haven't watched a lot of Fulham U21s, unsurprisingly, but I imagine they're quite good at playing out from the back. They're not going to be the most physical of sides, like you mentioned. It's not going to be your typical league game, so it's a good chance to blood someone like Zach Obiero, because he's been someone that's been talked about for a couple of years now as someone who's one to break through. He had a really good loan last season in the National League South with Cheshunt, where they really rated him highly, got a few goals, got a few assists, really helped them despite them getting relegated. And now's a chance for him to push on, and it's his first start of the season. I think he's impressed in cameos before. I remember back to he came off the bench at the start of Richie's reign a bit at the end of that season. Looks really bright on the ball, looks to make things happen, and like you say, tonight's the perfect opportunity against kind of players his age to show what he's all about.
Zach, I think it's Zach. According to Zach, it's spelled Zach. But he's the real exciting one, and as Brendan says, there's been a lot of noise around him. Martin Ling, I once heard a couple of seasons ago in pre-season compare him to a ludicrous midfielder. I won't even say the name or it will send the fan base into meltdown, but there was real excitement a couple of years ago. I think he scored a 35-yard screamer against Dulwich Hamlet, and he looks like someone that's got really something about him.
Yeah, and do you know what? There's real precedent for someone like Zach here at the club. When you look through the team sheets and you see that Dan Happy's playing, and he's played over 200 times for the club. Ruel Satiria's hit the ground like running, phenomenally actually so far this season. Having a well-earned break actually, Ruel, this evening, because he's been really good so far this season in my opinion. And then even when you look back at Saturday's game and I don't particularly want to bring up the name, but Hector Cipriano was obviously scored against us on Saturday. That's the only reason why I don't want to bring up his name. But a guy who progressed through the academy and is now thriving in League One. And it's those kind of players that you want to emulate. You can see that there are those opportunities but those opportunities might come few and far between. So you've got to take them when they're afforded to you. So hopefully it's games like this where he'll show that he can not just push into our first team or put himself in the frame for our first team, but also prove to a quite strong Premier League under-21s team that he's at that level as well.
Now we've said that centre midfield spot is probably the most hotly contested position in this team, but I think you could also argue that the back four is too. I don't think anyone, probably even Richie, knows his best back four or five as we played at times this season. There's so much competition there with Omar Beckles and Brandon Cooper, who's obviously suspended tonight. We've got Tom James not in the squad, probably the best on the ball, and it's a tough one. But tonight it's quite a young one. It's a young back four and a chance for all of them to show their worth against a Fulham side that scores a lot of goals.
Yeah, and sometimes in this competition, or when you make so many changes, you look at the back four and go, well, I wouldn't fancy maybe that back four playing in a league game. But this back four, it looks strong in all areas. Rob Hunt and James Sweeney, very reliable fullbacks. I think James Sweeney was really starting to show improvement to his game in terms of going forward at the earlier parts of the campaign before he was sidetracked by that unfortunate concussion. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing him kind of showing more of the attacking side of the game that he showed in the opening couple of weeks. And then, like you say, the centre-back partnership, Ed Turns and Dan Happy, both of them kind of shared that role alongside Omar last season. So competition for places. Brandon Cooper and Omar have done really well in recent weeks, but there's no reason why a good performance here couldn't make them stake a claim for a place on Saturday.
And if we cast our minds back to the last game in this competition, it was all going plain sailing. We looked really solid defensively, and then there was a moment of capitulation, and we scored 2 goals. And it feels as though we maybe bounced back a little bit from that, and that was maybe a positive to have that kind of to have that kick, and we've done really well in the league since. You expect Richie tonight will be looking from these defenders who haven't played much recently, some of them, to put a solid defensive display in.
Yeah, certainly, and also, like, let's be honest, we also want to stay in the competition, right? So we need to get something out of the game, at least this evening, because I mean, I know that, I mean, it's I think a very generous retelling of that night in Gillingham to say that it might have given us that kick, that kick in the right direction. At the time, it definitely didn't feel that way, because we were really good in the first half against Gillingham. It was the best kind of half of football we'd had up till that point in the season, and then it was pure capitulation, which I think I said on that night doesn't happen if you're a team that's kind of progressing in the right way. Now, of course, what's happened since then, it has been largely positive, with some really good results and good performances to show for it. But it was still a night where, like, come on now, there was no need to have 2 men sent off straight reds, conceding a penalty, red card. It was like full house of capitulation, really. So tonight is a good chance to kind of right those wrongs, but also we need something out of it, and I'm sure that'll be on Richie's mind. I'm sure he spoke before the Gillingham game about wanting to do well in this competition. I'm sure he'll he's picked a team that is very capable of winning this game, but we have to go out there and show it.
Well, to win this game, we're going to need goals. And the man leading the line tonight is the welcome return of Aaron Drinan. He really hasn't had the luck with injuries in recent, even last season. He never really felt like he got going, but he came on Saturday and he looked really sharp.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent on Saturday, and it was the type of game where I expect him to excel a little bit more than at times in League Two. I think in League Two we often came up against deep defences who sat deep, and Aaron Drinan ultimately loves to drive into space. He's a very quick player. He's good at making runs off the ball. He's a good presser. He's good at link-up play, but he's probably not kind of a player who's going to thrive in a deep defence where he just needs to take a penalty box chance or he needs to dribble around people. I think that's not his game. His game is when he's got space to run into on the counter, and that's where we might see a different Aaron Drinan in League One to the one we saw in League Two last season, and that will start tonight. I imagine Fulham are going to play quite a high line, so I'm sure he's licking his lips at that, and like I say, minutes in the legs, get fit again, and there's no reason why he can't challenge Joe Pigott for that number 9 role in his team.
We should have some clips of his performance on Saturday, because it was really impressive. As Brendan says, he runs into that space when he's sharp. He looks sharp, and he looks strong, and he looks quick, and that would be a real asset to have to any team. And we know how much Richie loves him from that kind of second half of the season when he first came in. But this is what he's about, isn't it?
Yeah, and when we see the clips of Aaron Drinan, then it's so clear what he offers the team, the link-up play, the way he brings in different players. He was excellent, as Brendan said, on Saturday. And it's funny because when players do get injured, unfortunately it's kind of easy to forget that they kind of exist. And so we've started this season with Joe Pigott, and then Shaqfor's come in. Obviously, Ajay is unfortunately injured as well, but then Aaron Drinan comes in. You're like, okay, we've got another option here, and to put in a performance like he did on Saturday was really positive. Also because he has had these injuries here and there over his Orient career, and it does seem to be quite occasionally it can be quite slow for a player to get back in the mixer and feel their way back into games. But he, as Brendan said, put in exactly the sort of performance you want at that stage in the game, and yeah, hopefully he just kind of kicks on. These are all, I hate to use a cliche, but these are all good problems to have, like we've been saying about the midfield three, the back line, who's going to be playing on Saturday, and now we come on to who's going to be starting up top. It's been something though that we've had for a couple of years now, and no one's really taken that number 9 shirt and claimed it as their own. And this is going back, probably three years or so now. So it'll be interesting. Can he do it? Hopefully he can, because this will all be positive if we can get a striker who can score goals consistently.
Well, kickoff is rapidly approaching, and we're going to need to push on and get through a lot of business now, because it's only 10 minutes to go. And don't forget, as per the competition rules, tonight is available for you to stream in the UK and internationally. So head over to the website that is on screen now and pick up your streaming pass to watch on with us here on Orient Live. And of course, we've got some more business to get through as well. Hospitality is on sale for the next couple of games. Well, actually 3 games, and the good news is, as you will see now, it is 3 for 2. So if you purchase 2 of the hospitalities, you'll be able to come to all 3. Isn't that fantastic? And if you want to secure your spots up in the fantastic facilities at Brisbane Road, then simply email commercial@leightonorient.com. They'll be able to give you all the information and help you get your booking in. And then we look ahead to another Tuesday night under the lights, and this one's massive as well. It's Orient versus Lincoln City. And the good news is, all adult tickets in every single stand is £10, and kids are allowed in for just £1. That's going to be a fantastic night under the lights and fantastic value for money. I'm sure that one will sell out as well. So head over to the Orient website and to the Match Centre for that game to pick up your tickets. And last but by no means least, Christmas is soon approaching. Who'd have thunk it, eh? I thought we'd get through Halloween first, but no, it's time for Christmas, and with less than 14 weeks away, the club have announced that it's has a number of private and shared party options for fans and local businesses. If you want to find out more about that, just email events@leightonorient.com and you'll be able to get your Christmas on nice and early, so you won't have to worry about it when you're watching Orient for the next few weeks, and you'll have it all nicely wrapped up and ready to go. But as we said, we're rapidly approaching kick-off now, so it's time to get back to the football business. And let's take a look at the opposition team for this evening's game in the shape of Fulham. So starting in goal for Fulham this evening is number 36, Alex Borto. We have number 32, Harvey Araujo. Number 41, Devan Tanton. Number 44, Luke de Forge-Gorales. Number 49, and the captain, Matthew Dilby-Diaz. Number 50, Oliver O'Neill. Number 54, Chris Donnell. Number 57, Christian Sekularak. Number 59, Jonathan Esenga. Number 63, Terrell Works. And number 71, Aaron Lupalo-Bai. And on the bench is Pachaziti, Amisa, Gordon, McNally, Lanquedoc, De Jesus and Osmond. Well, a very good range of names in there. And as we've kind of touched on, not only are their names exciting, but their football is as well.
Yeah, they've scored a lot of goals recently. They've won every game in the Premier League 2 division. They've even beat Man City 2-1 at the beginning of the season. So they're clearly a good, capable side. They held Portsmouth to a 3-3 draw in their last game in this competition. So a lot of goals, very exciting. But like we say, I'm hoping it'll be a good footballing game where probably in recent weeks, Richie's probably gone a bit more defensive, a bit more direct, more kind of adapting to League One and getting results in any means necessary. I'm hoping today he kind of lets the players off the leash and we play a free-flowing, exciting game and give Fulham more to match.
Their league record, Andrew, 15 goals for, 6 against. Of course, it's not first-team men's football, but they're a football team playing in a league of people with their abilities. Goals are goals,
Ollie. Goals are goals. And yeah, they had a great result against Brentford under 21s recently, where they won 6-1. Yeah, they do have a lot of goals in their team, and like Brendan said, even when they lost eventually on penalties to Portsmouth in this competition a couple of weeks ago, they were, it was a 3. They still put 3 past them. So they've got a lot of goals in their team. It's something that we've got to be very, very aware of. But at the same time, we are the senior team. I know that we've got a few young players on the pitch as well. Probably a few that would qualify for an under-21s team as well in this competition. But it's this is why Premier League clubs were introduced into this competition, to give them the senior experience, and so kind of need to make sure that they've been given that kind of experience. So hopefully there's players on the pitch for us who kind of have that experience, that kind of seniority in terms of being like playing with a bit of guile, or a bit of players that have played over 200 senior appearances under their belts, who play like men, for want of a better phrase. So hopefully we can kind of stamp our authority on the game, but at the same time, Fulham under 21s have been excellent so far this season. They're clearly a club that know how to blood in these youngsters and play good attacking football.
They certainly do that. And if we look at some of the goals from their last game in this competition, there were 6 goals in the game, 3 scored, 3 conceded. They do play really attacking football. And Portsmouth, obviously, a side that we struggled against, they've put in a very good performance against.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why we can't just come here and say it's an under-21s team. We should be winning the game. Like, we've got to treat them with respect. They're clearly very dangerous going forward. But if you look in here, a couple of goals that maybe Portsmouth gifted to them, but still, they look more than capable. Their league record shows that, and their record in this competition so far. So it'll be a big test for that back four, but one I'm sure they're relishing.
Yeah, no, I mean, like Brendan was saying, it was an entertaining game against Portsmouth. Eventually, Portsmouth came out on top because of the penalties rule that we have in this competition. But yeah, something that we just got to be aware of. I mean, I'm going to predict it, Ollie. It probably won't be 0-0 this evening. I mean, I hope it's not, because I want an entertaining game, but it's unlikely to be.
Well, hopefully there's going to be lots of goals, and of course, don't forget, one more time, tonight is available to watch in the UK and internationally. So if you're watching along live on our YouTube, then head over to the website on screen now to pick up your streaming pass. But kickoff is very nearly upon us. The hallowed turf of Brisbane Road is being slicked up, ready for some lovely Wellens balls, and it's now time to hand over to our match commentary team of Dave Victor.
Good evening and welcome to Brisbane Road. And it's very quiet, I think it's fair to say, so far, but I'm looking forward to this game. It was eventful when Orient played Gillingham, which certainly lived much longer in the memory than many of these games played in this competition. And I'm looking forward to seeing this young Fulham side. Their start to the campaign, absolutely astonishing. I managed to get 26 goals in their opening 6 matches. They hit Brentford for 6 on Friday night. They've already put 5 past both Southampton and Crystal Palace, and they beat last season's champions, Manchester City. The only game they haven't won was in this competition, Matt, and that's when they played most of the second half with just 10 men.
Indeed, and maybe that's a signal that it's a very different style of football, and some might argue it's men against boys, but this is where it'll be a real test, and I think it should be an interesting game. It should certainly be an entertaining one, purely based on Fulham's performances so far this season. Even in that Portsmouth game, a 3-3 draw. They lost on penalties, but they've been banging in the goals, as you rightfully say, Dave. 16 goals in their last 3 fixtures against Brentford, Southampton and Crystal Palace. They're unbeaten in the PL2 League, and there's some certainly talented players in Hayden Mullin's side, and we'll get to see them this evening.
He took over, didn't he, in July, and they haven't looked back since, but it is so difficult to judge the sort of relative strength of these two teams, or of clubs at that level, because so many go out on loan, don't they?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the interesting